Gardner White was founded in 1912 by Mr. Gardner and Mr. White. At the time, there were 140 different furniture stores in Metro Detroit, so if we think we live in a fragmented industry today, we've seen nothing. They ran Gardner White until the 1950s when my grandfather, Irwin Kahn, and his father saw an opportunity to acquire the business, which they did. I grew up in Detroit. I also effectively grew up at Gardner White. I'm fourth generation, and this was the place where both of my parents and grandparents went every single day. So for me, walking these halls was a pretty natural place to grow up. I went to the University of Michigan for undergrad, and I am to this day a very proud Wolverine, always will be. I then went to London School of Economics for graduate school, which was also a great time in a very different way, and then worked in the clean energy sector and solar energy technology specifically for about 10 years before, in a moment of genius or lunacy, everyone in this room will decide, I joined the furniture industry. My parents applied what was the absolute opposite of pressure to try to get me into this industry, but I think they also really wanted to make sure that this is something that I was really passionate about, which I am.
Rach had the whole world at her feet. She had worked in nonprofits. She'd worked for the Department of Energy. She was commuting to China at 26. So when she came to Steve and I and said she was thinking about coming into Gardner White, we were surprised. And we questioned her to make sure that this was the right thing for her. After all, I mean, her boss was President Obama, Secretary Chu. She worked with the best. I was concerned as her mom, would there be enough here? Would this, after being invited to the White House, would going to High Point, North Carolina, and the Vegas market be enough to engage her? She's taken to this business with some passion and a enthusiasm that is a delight to see.
What I really wanted to do was build something, and the more I thought about it, the more there was an opportunity to do that at Gardner White. And I also had two of the world's best mentors who were really invested in my success, and that was really appealing. So of course I was influenced by both of my parents, who, as they would say, are both attorneys by training, now earning a more honest living in retail furniture. My father is incredibly analytical. If you want to talk finance, he can talk finance. If you want to talk real estate, he can talk real estate. And of course, everyone in this room knows he's an incredible merchant.
Working with Rachel is a pleasure. I mean, she's motivated, she's disciplined, way more disciplined than I am, does much more research. She's much more like her mother in that regard. And she and I, we have a common goal when she's ready to fire me. And that'll be a really exciting day for both of us.
As anyone who knows Barb Tronstein, you know she has a real passion for this industry and what she does. If you want intensity, she can deliver, and she really lives and breathes the stuff, and always has.
People have written many books of fathers and sons working together, but Rach and I are writing the book about mother and daughters working together. She is an amazing young woman. As a mom, you always think of your kids as your kids. But by working together, we've had to learn to appreciate each other as adults, as colleagues. And the fact that she's sitting here working with us, I think is a privilege, and I take it as a compliment to Steve and I.
One of the unique aspects of working in a family environment is the characters within that environment. Irwin Kahn was one of those characters that you had to embrace and you had to love. And then you have Rachel, who is the sum of the total. She has both Steve and Barbara, but don't think for a moment that she really doesn't have the essence of Irwin. She and Irwin had a connection many, many years ago when she was nothing but a child, and it stayed throughout the duration of her career, and he'd be proud right now to know that Rachel has this award and the family has this award.
It feels terrific to know that all the hard work that my grandfather, my father, Steve and I have done is in such capable hands, and I know she'll take this company to places that we haven't even dreamed of.
I want to thank IHFRA for recognizing Gardner White and Rachel as Retailers of the Year. It's really a big honor, and we truly appreciate it.
On behalf of the 4 generations of Gardner White, I'd like to thank IHFRA for this tremendous honor.
I know my grandfather would love this and appreciate the fact that my grandmother, Ruth, is here with us tonight. She and Irwin together made Gardner White what it is today.
Also, I'd like to thank all the reps who make this industry certainly dynamic and interesting and never boring.